How's it going? We got another art related video. This time we're going to review two different products. Keep it short. Let's get started. And this video is going to be about why you should buy the Pro Draw grip for your Apple Pencil. Or alternatively, you can buy a Pro Draw grip equivalent third party for your S Pen. So what's the difference between not having this on, which very easy to take off? What's the difference between not having this on and having the Pro Draw grip on? So if you think about it, if you watch the video of the guy who created this, then he wanted to do it because, you know, a lot of artists have wrist pain. They may develop carpal tunnel, arthritis, you know, the typical things that people deal with if they draw for a long period of time. So if you think of a typical grip for an Apple Pencil or any pencil for that matter, then although this does work and it increases comfort, it's not wide enough to drastically improve or contort your hand position to get it to where you can hold the pencil where you want to hold it, because it's just kind of one cylinder, if that makes sense. Versus if you think of a grip, then there's so many hills and valleys, right? There's so much curvature that naturally I'm going to position my hand exactly where I want it to be, you know? And so, for instance, without any grip, then you're forced to hold your hand in an awkward angle, you know what I mean? And this is going to be for hours, right? Obviously that wears down your fingers, your ligaments, and it makes it to where it develops cramps and strain, right? So I'm not a doctor, but this is just how I see it as a layman, right? So you put this in here, and really it's pretty easy to put in. You make sure that this groove is aligned with the flat side of your Apple Pencil, if you can see that, right? And so essentially you just do that. Put it in here. You can do it either side, is reversible, right? Let me take this off and let's just go to Clip Studio, right? Let's go to Procreate, and then bam, right? So essentially you kind of just open it up, slide it in here. You can see that it can be either side. You can put it on depending if you want the fatter part to grip or the smaller part. I like this smaller part here. And then really you can ride this up or down depending on how you want to carry your pencil, right? And then that's pretty much it. And so if you have it adjusted to where the flat side, like I said, is meeting the opening, essentially do this and you can still use your double tap. So essentially your grip is very comfortable here. It's if you can feel what I feel, and the difference between not having this and having this is worlds apart. You're able to really hold it exactly where you want to. So, and really it feels like you have a longer pencil, because if I ride it this way, you're gonna see on the S Pen how beneficial that is. But if I ride it up, then it's like I have a longer pencil. Not only is my comfort increased, my strain reduced, but also I can artificially lengthen or shorten the length of the pencil, because if I ride it down here, then it's as if I have a shorter pencil. It says aluminum here, but it feels like silicone. It feels very rubbery, like an eraser, you know? So it's very comfortable. It feels like you have more control over the pencil, because it's weird how the wider your grip is, then the more it's like you're holding it with your hand, you know what I mean? To where you feel like you have a lot of control, and I feel like I can really just draw, you know, anything, you know? I feel like I can just reach new heights when it just comes to drawing, doodling, and especially when it comes to drawing for a long period of time, this definitely helps. So again, this is a review for someone who's had this for now. I believe I bought this like 2 years ago. This isn't one of those reviews to where I have it for 5 minutes and then I review the product as if I've always had it, which means the reviews are worthless because you just got the product. You're no different than me, the watcher. You just got it. I don't have it. Or even worse, you have unboxing videos, then they have the gall to review the item as if they've had it for a long time. So this isn't one of those. I've had this for at least 2 years, and I've had this for a year. So I've used both of these plenty to get my opinion that I'm giving to you today. Another benefit is that this can charge while having it on. Now I have a case here, and I actually dremeled out the case. As you can see here, I actually cut the very hard plastic and then I dremeled out the case in order to make room so that I can charge my Apple Pencil while having the Pro Draw grip on without needing to take it off in order to charge your pencil, right? And so what I did, so this is as if I don't have a case since I dremeled it out, right? And so all you have to do is align the gap here with this and just kind of position it on the ledge, right? Like this. And as you can see, the pencil just charged if you saw that notification. And so it stays very secure. In fact, it's more secure while charging the pencil while having the Pro Draw grip on. Why? It's because you see how the ends of the grip, it acts like a clamp, if that makes sense. So you can kind of see it here to where it clamps down on the end of the edges of the iPad, right? You see that? And so it's super sturdy. So this is more safe than not having this and charging it. It's a weird benefit, right? So this thing is way harder to come off, and don't get me wrong, it can still come off, obviously, just through normal use and adjusting. It's still not you still don't want to be moving the iPad while having this on, but it is very secure in comparison to not having this on. And just for proof, take it off. You see that? You can now see the pencil not charging. Put it back on. You see how easy that is, and it's charging. Very recommended. Very recommended. And again, any part of this, you can hold it while drawing. And then if I wanted to get the bigger part, like I said, I can just flip it around, and then you could be drawing with this part. Just depending on your hand size, your comfortability, you have options. It's like you have multiple sizes of these within one grip. Very recommended. Very recommended. That's it for the Pro Draw grip for the Apple Pencil. Amazing device, highly recommended. It's only 13 bucks. Very useful. And for the S Pen grip for Samsung S Pens, it's pretty much the same. So all the same review I just gave for the Pro Draw grip applies to this as well. Yeah, it's very form-fitting. And another difference is it has these grooves right here, which I assume is just to hold the pencil better, even though I feel like it doesn't need that at all. That actually gets in the way and kind of forces you to grip it like a traditional grip. It thins out the grip. It makes it closer to like you're holding a pencil. So I don't really like that. So I kind of don't even hold it in that direction. I hold it like here, right? But even still, it works the same. Two sides, very easy to take off and put on, as you can see. Same thing, flat side, kind of works very identical. And so you just kind of put that in there, right? And it's a much more snug fit, in my opinion. And another difference, obviously, is that obviously the S Pen is also Bluetooth, and it has a button where you can do a lot with this, especially for typical drawing softwares. You can hold that for erase. And so it actually has an indentation to where you can press a button and it works. You can even hear it. But obviously, even more so than a Pro Draw grip for the Apple Pencil, you need to make sure that this flat side aligns with this groove, because then the button will match up. So again, works the same, makes the S Pen very comfortable. I use this so much you can barely even read it, but the Mars Lumograph Digital from Staedtler. And so this is my typical pencil, but ever since I put this on, then I kind of interchange with these two. Since I like longer pencils, and the S Pen traditionally has been very short. The biggest benefit that this has, because the S Pen for me is so tiny that I like to by default hold pencils like right here. But if I do that with the S Pen, then it's hard to do that. But now that I write this up, like I said, to the point where you can barely see this, now when I hold it in the area of like right here, then it's as if I have a longer pencil, you know? So then I can draw, and it's awesome, you know? It's awesome. And it feels like I have a longer pencil. Maybe that's one drawback, is that the button's not gonna be aligned if I do that. But even still, you can still kind of find it, right? And then still hold it and then do that. As you can see, I just held it and now I'm not holding it. Holding it, not holding it. So you can still find the button. Amazing product, amazing product. It's good for both of these pencils. Whichever device you use, buy it for it, you know, because you won't regret this. And this will replace any sort of grip you already have on your Apple Pencil. This will be superior. So link in the description. Let me know what you think about the video. Let me know if you want more videos like this. If you haven't seen already my other videos, be sure to check out my review of Procreate, the pros, the cons, my reviews of Clipsito Paint. It'll be in the description. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.